Hello, and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the Lickilicky with the first move of Rollout, which is new on this Pokemon, but also we're going to run Solar Beam. Solar Beam is going to be an interesting move for this team especially, but just generally speaking for the open Great League meta currently, because there are quite a few Mud Boys running around, and so we're going to try to punish those as we're going to have a fast move that's usually resisted by Mud Boys. We're going to be able to lure them out, and we're going to also generate energy so much faster now thanks to Rollout, and that is going to be great. Oh, look at this, there's a Gastron coming in. That is going to be lovely. As they're going to go for the body slam, we can easily still survive this one. And do they know? Let's find out here. Solar Beam is coming through, and Solar Beam is going to be able to connect and knock them out straight away. And I think the opponent at this point is like, yeah, I think that is going to be game over. Yeah, there's not a lot that the opponent can do here anymore, and so this is going to be quite an easy game. They're gonna definitely not enjoy the Clodsire matchup against Gastron either, and we can move on to the next opponent. This team is actually, I think, one that I also had in my top team video before. Jumpluff, a very good core together with the Gastron, and Gastron being able to beat those Steel-type Pokemon like the Alolan Sandslash, which you don't want to face as a Jumpluff, is going to be very, very good. But also, Jumpluff is going to be able to cover the weakness of the Grass-type Pokemon for the Gastron, because you have Aerial Ace, which is going to be great. Not so great is going to be the matchup against Dugong. I don't really like the matchup against Dugong. While we have super effective coverage on the Lickilicky here, I just had to go straight for the Body Slam. Yeah, could have went for the Solar Beam there as well, but I just kind of want to have guaranteed damage in here to guarantee realignment. And so I feel like it was a bit of a better decision to go straight for the Body Slam before they can debuff me. In hindsight, maybe Solar Beam would have been a little bit more fun, but it is going to be okay here. So I'm gonna still try to go for another charge move. I think I can farm them down. We will find out here. Drill Run coming through. Yeah, we can definitely farm them down here. They swap out into the Sableye. I can let the move go through. I think they're actually in range now for one Aerial Ace after the Fairy Wind damage got buffed here. This is going to definitely put them down there into range where one more Aerial Ace is all we need to knock them out. And let's find out what they have in the back. It is going to be that Talonflame, and Talonflame is a Pokemon that definitely does not appreciate our moveset of Gastron, because usually people are running the moveset of Body Slam as well as Earth Power. We don't, we run Water Pulse. Water Pulse, being a super effective hit, is going to be able to knock them out straight away, and the opponent has nowhere to go here. Next opponent coming in, we're going to have a Malamar on the lead, and that's also why I really enjoy Jumpluff. I said like several times basically in the beginning before the season even started that I think that this Pokemon is going to be one of the best to run as an anti-meta Pokemon, and against the current meta here, this thing is just so great. Against Malamar, you're going to do still super effective fast move damage, but if they are running the team that I created as well around Malamar, the backline is going to be quite weak against Jumpluff as well, and so if they're going to have a Zero in the back, then that is going to be quite nice. What we should do here is though, we should go into Gastron, and I think I kinda messed this up. Let's find out here if I actually going to mess it up, but yeah, I do. Very likely going to be Whimsicott in the back, but if it's not a Whimsicott in the back, it would be Clodsire. And so, it's a 50-50 shot. If it's Whimsicott, we completely screwed ourselves over like this. If it's Clodsire, we're going to have the best matchup possible in the back. And so, we're going to have to take a little while here to find out what Pokemon it is going to be, as, yeah, there's going to be basically the two cores there. Either the team that I built, or the team that is stacked together with Clodsire, which is a little bit more meta-ish, but let's find out what it's going to be. We're going to be able to get some more damage onto them here. I don't really care about any kind of move that they want to go for. It's going to be the superpower, and so we can go back into our Jumpluff, and they're going to have in the back the Clodsire will allow us to go for the Mud Slap down with the Gastron, and I don't think the opponent really enjoys this one here. Definitely doesn't really look like it, as we are going to be able to take a hit from them, but actually they still have one shield, and I was thinking it's best for me to just go for the Water Pulse, just in case they're going to let the move go through expecting a bait. Turns out I was wrong, I should have just went for the Body Slam, but now we're going to be in a little bit of a tougher spot, as they can go for another charge move. It's going to be the Earthquake, going to knock us out, hands down to our Jumpluff, but we can foul on the Malamar, and that is a game. Energy Ball easily going to be able to knock out the opponent's Clodsire, and we can move on to the next opponent. Well, let's see what the next opponent is going to run here. Roderigas, interesting Pokemon, haven't seen anybody use it. Got access to the move a Brutal Swing, which is going to reach after only 8 turns, 4 fast moves, which is quite ridiculous. No, actually, never mind. They reached after 5 fast moves, and the second one after 4. I always kind of think when, like, for those kind of moves about like those 9 energy generating moves, but Shadow Claw only generates 8 energy, so I was a bit wrong there. But in comes here the Ursa Ring, and I definitely should went for the Solar Beam. There were a lot of opportunities, but yeah, in this case, yeah, I was kind of want to go for the safe play. I kind of just want to go for the safe play, going for the Swift. But maybe I should have not done this, I'm not too sure. This should be just a Swift from the opponent as well. And so we keep at least a lot of energy, and maybe we can hit another Solar Beam here against the opponent. Let's see what they're gonna come into next. It's going to be the Runerigas. I tried my best here, but I'm actually going to store up the energy for later on and rather swap out of here, because I feel like they might be weak to my Lickilicky in the back if they decide to go into a Ghost type in order to try to counter me there. And as you can see, we're gonna try to go for the beta, which is not going to work out at all. As the opponent lets the move go through, we can try our best to go for another aerial ace, and I guess this would be enough to knock them out from this range at least. So I don't know if this was the right or wrong call, but they're going to have the Ariados in the back, and we can still go for an aerial ace, which is very important for us. And here is the thing. Solar Beam is definitely not going to be great against this Pokemon, but also know that I should be able to survive one move here, and so I'm kind of confused on what to do. Trailblaze is coming through here, going to do a ton of damage. I can at least try and use a shield here, because I need to get some damage onto the opponent. Cross Poison coming through, luckily doesn't get a boost onto the opponent's attack, which it has the chance to do. It's like Night Slash, but as a poison type move. We can go ahead and go for the Body Slam here and get them kind of low. It doesn't knock them out, but what we can do is we can swap out, and Solar Beam it is. Double resisted move, we don't care. Goodbye Ariados. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to have here. We're going to have the Feraligatr in the lead. You might think that's going to be a very great lead for the Jumpluff, but it turns out that's actually not really the case. The reason for this is that the opponent would have access to the move Ice Beam, and I think if they go straight Ice Beam, or like if they even bait with Hydro Cannon and I don't go for my own baits, I have no chance of really winning this battle, because Ice Beam of course going to one-shot us, and they kind of get there a bit faster than we get to the Energy Ball, or like kind of at the same kind of speed, and so it can be a bit tricky. But here we're gonna see the opponent swapping into the Altaria. We're gonna try our best to fully farm them down here. But turns out I'm still gonna go for another charge move. I think the opponent would have been able to go for their own Sky Attack again, but this is going to be fine. Body Slam is coming through, and again, I kind of missed an opportunity here to go for the Solar Beam, but the opponent decides to go for the Hydro Cannon. I can go for the Body Slam spam, and I think this is going to be my best bet in trying to get the knockout here. But again, if I went for the Solar Beam here, I would have just knocked them out straight away. But 2 Body Slams, I think less energy than the Solar Beam, so I guess it might be even the ideal play. We're going to be able to get the aerial ace off here, but it's not going to look too great for us so far. They try their best still to knock us out with that Hydro Cannon, but we use a shield and they catch the move onto a Mandibuzz. And Mandibuzz is going to be not a Pokemon that I like to see here, because we are very, very weak against this Pokemon. But at least I can still get to another aerial ace, which is going to do some nice damage against them, especially after the Fairy Wind is doing some super effective fast move damage. We're going to be able to catch the move here, which is going to be the aerial ace on our Gastrodon. Gastrodon has access to the water type move Water Pulse here, which is really good for us, because otherwise the moveset would have been a little bit more rough, especially after the Body Slam nerf. It is definitely better to have Water Pulse, but I randomly go for the Water Pulse here, which doesn't make any sense at all, and this might actually screw over our game plan, because now we are in a spot where we are not really looking too good with what we have, because yeah, they kind of go ahead and go for our Body Slam, but yeah, I would have really liked to go for the Water Pulse there. Not gonna lie, Water Pulse mostly would have put them into farm down range for sure. But here we are going to be able to catch a move. Going to be that aerial ace. They're gonna try to knock me out. It doesn't really work out. But we can still reach that aerial ace and win this battle. Easily going to be enough to knock them out. Next opponent, let's see what they're going to have. We're going to have a Clodsire in the lead. It's going to be a matchup where we're gonna take super effective damage against us. And I think I play this really bad. No, actually not. Never mind. This one is going to be fine. The opponent is going to go for an extra fast move, which is totally okay, because now I can swap out onto my Lickilicky, got some damage onto them before, and I'm in a little bit of a better spot here. And maybe we can hit another Solar Beam. That would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? So let's find out here. I decide to use a shield, I think. I decided to use a shield, exactly. Earthquake gonna get shielded, and I try my best here, but they decide to swap out onto the Mandibuzz. So I could not go ahead and go for my own Solar Beam, and we have to go for the Body Slam spam here, which is not ideal, because my fast move actually does more damage really than what our charge moves are doing. So yeah, I'm not too happy about the situation here, but it is what it is. We're gonna still be able to go ahead and go for another Body Slam here, trying to get them low. Still not really looking too good for us. They're gonna go ahead and go for the Dark Pulse, getting us quite low. And now I'm actually gonna decide to go ahead and go into the Gastrodon. I don't know if this is going to be the correct play or not, but I don't really want to get hit by Aerial Ace, and so I feel like this is my only play, as I know that the opponent has a ton of energy, but let's see how this is gonna go here. We're gonna try our best to go for the full farm down, but as you're gonna see here, it's not gonna do really a lot of damage against the Mandibles, does it? Definitely not, but we're gonna be able to use a shield here again. That's great. That's why with 1 HP. I wonder if this game would have been different if they... Actually, I think this game would have been definitely a bit different if they didn't survive with 1 HP in a Dream. We can go for the Body Slam spam against the opponent's Clodsire, but it's not really looking too great for us here. And I think they're going to have a Pokemon in the back that I'm not going to enjoy too much as well, which is going to be the Feraligatr. And again, as we said before already, there's a little bit of an issue with this Pokemon. This Pokemon is learning the move Ice Beam, and so it's going to be able to counter our Jumpluff. And yeah, sadly it's going to be a loss, but we can move on to the next opponent. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Cacturn here. Cacturn, funny Pokemon. Kind of want to make a video about this Pokemon as well. Most likely not going to copy the opponent's team though, because I don't really like when your lead is weak to counter and your Sasop is weak to counter. I know counters don't really think anymore, but you still have Machamp, you still have Pangoro, you see them the odd time. I don't really like to have a double weakness against those Pokemon, especially as the fast move Sucker Punch, which is going to be resisted from the fighting typing. And yeah, even if it's something like, what's called the Chestnut. Chestnut would completely wall the opponent's team, so I definitely have to find a little bit of a different team here. But I like to see some more spice like this, so I appreciate the spice from the opponent. Let's see if we're gonna lose against it. I actually decided to not even hit all the bubbles. Most likely got distracted by something or whatever. That was not the way to go. But at least you're gonna be able to use a shield here. We got the also the shield from the opponent with that, which is fine. They actually have Payback. Payback is interesting, doing way more damage than Dark Pulse does. I don't know if it's really worth it, but it's going to be a Talonflame in the bag. That is going to be great. We get a free fast move in. I can let the move go through unless it's a Brave Bird. We should be fine. I decided to use a shield. I guess I'm just not even going to listen to my own words. But we can go for a double Body Slam here at this point. Get some Rollout damage in. And maybe it's not going to be enough to knock them out. But no matter what, it's definitely going to put them into the deep red health range. And so they can knock us out maybe. And we are still going to be fine. They're actually not going to knock us out, and so we can just win like this as well. Next opponent, we're going to have a Diocon in the lead. That is not going to be ideal for us. It's going to hardwall our lead, and we're going to try to go straight for the Body Slam, just trying to get rid of the disadvantage that we have by swapping out. But not only this, we're also going to try to just get some damage onto them for maybe a light up matchup. For example, our Gastrodon kind of would like to appreciate a little bit of a prior damage to it, just so we can mud slap them down maybe. Crunch coming through, gonna get the defense drop, which does not really matter because they would have knocked me out no matter what. But I guess they would put us with that now into range, or even Poison Sting would be enough to knock us out. We're gonna be able to go for the full farm on here with our Gastrodon, but again, it's actually not going to be ideal for us because Gastrodon would need to carry us throughout the entire game basically. It's going to be a Sableye in the back, which is not bad. We're gonna go for a charge move, and maybe I should have just swapped out straight away here. But they, of course, going to be able to counter me then with their Dugong. But they decide to stay in here as a Purified Sableye. And they decide to go ahead and go for a Power Gem. I honestly am going to be curious here on how this is going to be for the next season. On how important it is to have Power Gem or not. Like for like the Play Pokemon season, I mean. On like a normal variant of it. I feel like Shell variant is going to be a bit better. But maybe normal variant is kind of like a secret trick there for it. Just gonna go for the Purified one, but running the Rock type move instead of the Return might be the play. Feraligatr. Feraligatr is going to be a Pokemon that we are definitely gonna have an okay time here. It's not going to be too great, but our backline is going to be fine, so I'm not really too worried about it. Even if we're going to only hit an Aerial Ace against the opponent, I'm totally fine with that, because as we're going to see here, Aerial Ace is going to get the shield, but it would definitely do a ton of damage still, and would put them into range for farm down for both of my other Pokemon. We decide to go straight for another Aerial Ace here, trying to bait another shield out, which we can do, and now I'm very certain like that the opponent's gonna go maybe for a bait here, which would be fine, but also they're gonna swap out to not lose their Pokemon, and I stay in for a little bit too long. Maybe I go for an Energy Ball as well to try to get the knockout against the opponent's Dunsparce. But here I was successfully able to catch the Rock Slide onto our ground type Pokemon, making it a very solid matchup for us, as we can now take a hit again. It's going to be that drill run from the opponent, so should be able to survive even another one afterwards, so I could go for the full farm down, but I decide against it, and I'm gonna decide to go for that Body Slam to knock them out. As you can see here, we can go ahead and go for another body slam against the Furligator. Of course, you don't have Earth Power, so that is a bit of a trickier one, but we can catch a move, I guess, on the Lickilicky, which is not ideal. Maybe I should just let the move go through. But depending on what they have in the back, it might be even beneficial for us. Maybe it's going to be something like a Clodsire or something like this. We will find out here. It is actually going to be the Clodsire, and so we are in a solid spot. But are we in a spot that we can actually win in is the question here. I'm not too sure, but at least we're going to be able to hit 2 body slams against the opponent, which is definitely very, very nice for us, because 2 more fast moves would be another body slam, but they're going to go ahead and go for the knockout before that. That's fine by me. They can go for the Stone Edge, and I can go ahead and go into my Gastrodon and swap and catch the move. That is going to be lovely. It is going to be the Earthquake. It's going to do no damage at all. And they're going to try their best here to do something, but we can go for the double Aerial Ace. And here's the thing as well. Stone Edge is the cheapest move at 55 energy, leaving the opponent at 45 afterwards. So as soon as they're going to go for a charge move, they need at least 2 more fast moves to get the knockout. And they definitely do not have enough energy or like health for this as well here. So 1 more Mud Slap is all it takes, and we can win this final battle. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like. And I see you then for some more Solar Beam action. Bye bye.